There's an update on the TDI Toyota. Pretty well, almost had it buttoned up here. Unfortunately, it's looking like I have a small head gasket leak. I'm probably going to have to pull that out and swap a gasket out here next, but I mostly have it set up. Just was finishing stuff up when I figured that out, so I figured I'd go over what I've got so far before I tear it apart again. So I made a few test runs, enough to cover the side of the truck in soot with my little stack sticking out the top here. But the turbo fits really nicely here. It's a little different, but it swoops up instead of down, and that just makes for a lot better room. And yeah, pretty well got all the wiring tied up and out of the way. So you can kind of see how it all looks finished up here. Obviously the no power steering doesn't work for a lot of vehicles, but even these bigger tires are still not too bad with how light this thing is, so I'll probably run it for now. Worry about that later. And yeah, I got a little gauge here hooked into my cooling system. I was monitoring my boost creeping into the coolant there. So gonna have to tear that all apart again. Yay. And let's see, it's pretty well all buttoned up underneath. There's actually more room than I was expecting. And just gotta get a bumper made for it and figure that all out. And I didn't want to do direct 90 turns on this intercooler, so I got these big swooping 180s, and I had to chop into the core support pretty good there to make room for it. But I guess you could do it different, but this is just my runaround vehicle, so it'll be just fine. And what else? The fuel system seems to be working great. The H fitting right back here. I guess it's kind of hard to see, but put it back there so you didn't have to look at it. That and the factory Toyota pump is working just fine, and I probably could have moved the battery over to the other side, but it was easy enough to put it there, and we'll see. I can always change that stuff later. And still figuring out what I'm going to do for an exhaust. I don't think the hood stack is going to work out. I can't clean the thing every day. But anyways, that's about it. It's running down the road. Works great. These rubber mounts, I was worried about the motor mounts vibrating, and honestly I think they're even better than the rubber mounts in my Wrangler, so pretty pleased with that. I just like the bolt through mounts because as soon as you lift it up a 1/4 inch, you can pull the bolt out and slide the mounts out and go up or down or whatever you need to do to make yourself more room. That sure makes it convenient for getting the vacuum pump out if you want a little more clearance when you're doing that, anything like that. But other than that, yeah, it looks like it's working pretty good. So tear that back apart, get a head gasket in it, and finish the exhaust so I can put the hood back on, and should be ready to drive.